Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Kamloops for the MSEM format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the quarterfinals match between Dodger, who's playing Parrot Pool's aggro, and that damn Pipsqueak, who's playing Heart Attack Control. So Dodger is on the play, since he has the higher seed right here. His deck is essentially blisteringly fast aggro, which is backed up by Parrot Pools, which, with a bunch of multicolored cantrips and spells, can kind of just blow up your opponent. So Dodger choosing not to play the Parrot Pools there, but it is going to get duressed away as a result. I think Dodger was afraid of just playing Parrot Pools and then Pip untapping and then playing, what do you call it? Playing a Pithwilt on it. So yeah, Pip is just going to snap grab the Parrot Pools. Unfortunately, doesn't have a second land drop, which is kind of damning for Pip, because Pip is like a 25 land deck. Her deck is very greedy on mana. As you can see, you have like Roll here. I think Pip was kind of just... Pip still has, 3 playable cards in her hand. It's not down and out by any means, but I think this could definitely get hairy depending on Dodger's top decks. And then just as I say that, hits a Miyoga Firebird. This turn could run out a Plaxalotl. No, okay, he's going to run out Unquenched Greed. I guess just setting up for a bigger turn. Oh, wow, and we'll get it. He's going to dump 2 Miyoga Firebirds right there. And actually has the mana to revive them this turn. Yeah, so he's going to Monkey Shines, trying to dump another. And then probably flashes or plays Unjust Sentence, flashes in the Plax, and then that's a huge board. And then even if Pip manages to kill Dodger's creatures, at that point Dodger will be able to into Waridi Valley, and then just kind of gas back up. If Dodger, okay, yeah, I was about to say if Dodger doesn't cast a Plax, I think that's a problem. But yeah, this is kind of nutty. Just turn 3, swing for 6, and then you have 8 damage on board. Meanwhile, Pip continues to be stuck on 1 land. I mean, this game 1 was always going to be difficult for Pip, but this is the nightmare, the worst case scenario. So Pip's literal, I think, only play here is just descend, kill the Plax, still eat 6 in the air next turn. So eat 6 in the air, goes down to 5. Pip untaps, exits, an Unjust Sentence. So this puts... So I think unless Pip gets exactly a land next turn, Pip loses, because Pip needs to be able to double exit next turn. And of course, even if Pip double exits, then into Waridi Valley just gasses Dodger back up. And Pip will still be at 2 life, so a single Unjust Sentence will kill her. Oh, it's just going to run out into Waridi Valley now. Drawing Unquenched Greed, Parrot Pools, and 2 lands. Okay, swings for 6. And next turn, even if Pip draws a land, which, yeah, Pip didn't, still had lethal. That was like the worst case scenario for Pip right there. I think Pip might have gotten spooked and kept, keeping the 1-lander. I guess the thought is, you do have 4 playable cards, but it might have been a little greedy for Pip, especially since she was on the draw. But I guess the thought was, hey, you've got cheap interaction for the Parrot Pools. You've got exits for creatures. Dodger just had an explosive start, and then Pip got really unlucky on the draws. So before we get into game 2, let's look at sideboarding for both of these players. So I think out of the side, both these players have really interesting options that I think will change kind of like the landscape of how these matches play out. Okay, so for Dodger, I think Invalidate and Cosmic Sinkhole are good, but they're much better when you're on the play rather than the draw. So I don't know if Dodger will bring those in. I know that Dodger mentioned that on the draw might bring in Vibrant Flames. Not sure exactly why that is, probably just for like more reach in general, but I think the main deck seems relatively safe in that regard. But yeah, I think even on the draw, Invalidates can really help mitigate some of Pip's interaction, which I think is the biggest problem in this matchup. like if Dodger gets a chance to just goldfish against Pip's like expensive interaction, then it's game over. Meanwhile, for Pip, Pip gets two more duress to grab Parrot pools out the side. You get Seal the Tomb, which is really useful since um, Dodger is milling himself so much. So the ability to just grave hate him is really great. Singularity's Grasp kills Parrot tokens, stand unassailable, gains life. I'm honestly not sure what Pip brings in here. I think you probably take out some of the Deems, because I think the Deems are a little bit too expensive for what you want to do here. Maybe take out some of the Sevids for interaction. Intrepid at least blocks in the air, so I think that's reasonable to keep in. I would also take out probably a single roll. So yeah, those are probably, and I think maybe take out a Vibrant Rapture for take out the Vibrant Raptors or some of them for Sing's Grasp, because Sing's Grasp can also hit the pools in addition to the birds it creates. I think that's very important. Okay, wow, so it looks like I've missed a little bit of game two. So it looks like so far Dodgers played a Parrot pools, immediately run it out into Pip's Demon Worthy, but Dodger has a second. Immediately is going to Parrot pools into a Unjust Sentence, hitting Pip for 4, which is unfortunate. If only this Demon Worthy had been a Pithwilt, would have been much easier to just just grab the Seal the Tomb on it and seal the deal. Pip plays a Duress. I think you take into Viridi Valley. Yeah. So now Dodger's down to 2 cards in hand. This is still pretty deadly, because if Dodger top decks a land, yeah, okay. So now plays Unjust Sentence, hardcast Miyoga Firebird, and then swings for 6. So that's a total of 9 damage. Pip can untap and Vibrant Rapture X equals 2 though, but again, Dodger will still have the Parrot pools, which is why I think the Singularity's Grasp would be so much better here. Though I guess notably, Pip also has access to Seal the Tomb, so can just seal something off of the Vibrant Rapture mana if need be. Dodger will get to draw off the Parrot pools this turn though. Okay, so he's going to swing in for 6. And Blind Blackguard is another good threat for Dodger. On end, Pip is going to buff up the Monument of Queens. The Monument of Queens is a real boon here, because it gives Pip the ability to essentially have life gain to get out of reach of Dodger's crazy threats. And Vibrant Rapturing here will give lots of fodder for buffing up the Queen. Okay, so he's gonna Heart of Zadina for 5, and then probably Rapture for 2. Yeah, Rapture for 2. So makes 4 petals, and then probably uses the floating black plus 2 petals to buff up a monument, or just uses the black for Seal the Tomb on Miyoga Firebird maybe? No. Oh, it's going to Seal the Tomb on draw step. That's deadly. Oh, and if Pip chooses Parrot pools here, this is also interesting because he's not going to seal the Parrot pools. But if Pip chose to seal the Parrot pools, Dodger could actually no, Dodger couldn't. I was going to say that Dodger could maybe save it by Blind Blackguarding it in response, but it would still be in library, so. And yeah, Pip lamenting saying, I should have chosen Parrot pools. Dodger does have a choice here, though. Needs to decide whether to run out the Blind Blackguard or Parrot pools right here. Because Parrot pools gives a Dodger more value in the long run, but I think you probably just Parrot pools into this turn into Blind Blackguard next turn, especially with Pip only having 1 card in hand. So Dodger saying stop on your draw step, didn't play the Parrot pool, so it looks like Dodger is just gonna Blind Blackguard, and then this will allow, this is really good because it lets Dodger grab this Pithwilt that Pip just drew. Oh, in response to the ETB, gonna Pithwilt the Parrot pools. Okay, and this way, there's just no target for the Blind Blackguard. So now Pip is gonna double buff the monument, swings in for 3, and gets to recoup some of that life loss. Of course, Dodger does have a Parrot pools to play next turn, but doesn't have anything to trigger it. Well, right as I say that, Viridi Valley doesn't trigger it, but how much does Viridi cost? Oh, Viridi actually still is expensive. Is still a whopping 6 mana, which Dodger doesn't have. So he's going to swing in for 4, and then main 2 probably just play a Parrot Pools and then pass. Might actually just hold it in hand until Dodger has something to activate it just to swerve Pip's removal, which would not actually be a bad play. I think the issue with that, of course, is that Pip has lots of hand attack as well, so you're playing, you're kind of like, it depends on what odds you're playing to. Oh, so it looks like Dodger accidentally placed the Parrot Pools that was pith wilted into exile rather than the graveyard. That would be relevant because of into Oridi Valley, because that makes it 5 mana rather than 6. Still won't be able to cast it this turn, though. Okay, so it looks like main 2 Dodger is going to run out the Parrot Pools. I think taking his luck with the removal instead of the hand attack, which I guess is fair. Pip has more removal already used than hand attack, so more likely that you'll draw a piece of hand attack. And it looks like that gamble paid off. Pip draws a Duress. Right in time to grab the Oridi Valley. And yep, now Dodger's without ways to gas back up. Heart of Zadina generates 6 mana on its own, so can double pump Monument into a 6/6, swing for 6. At this point is getting Dodger's life total down faster than Dodger can keep up. I think this is Pip's win. Oh, and wow, Pip is actually paying 2 for the fetch land. Not sure why. So this generates 7 mana. Still won't have enough to activate Monument in extra time. Yeah, okay, Pip is saying actually wrong to do that. But yeah, Pip already did it. Okay, so gets to swing for 6. Gasses back up to 10. Dodger swings for... Okay, Dodger draws an Unjust Sentence. Okay, didn't. Draws a Monkey Shines instead. But could still draw an Unjust Sentence off of this. So what does Unjust Sentence do here? It allows Dodger to swing for... So deals Pip 3, goes down to 7. Dodger swings 5. Puts Pip down to 2. Really, like, Myoga Firebirds would be great for Dodger here, but Pip already exiled all of them. Or, like, if Dodger brought in Multicolored Flames, Multicolored Flames would also be great. And, oh, Dodger mills an Unjust Sentence instead. Okay, draws another Blind Blackguard. Not super useful. It is technically another threat, which I think... one question, actually, is do you just cast this main phase to get another bird and then draw a card off of the Parrot Pools trigger? Because obviously, like, the technically correct play would be to wait until Pip's draw step, because Pip is out of cards in hand, so the Blind Blackguard trigger won't do anything if you just drop it. But if you play it right now, you get an extra bird, you deal combat damage with 3 creatures, and then you get to draw a card. Of course, you don't get to play that card this turn, so is it even worth it to get an extra card at this point? And you know Pip is going to untap Heart of Zadina and then, like, buff up Monument, like, 3 more times. Okay, so he's going to swing only with the Blind Blackguard, keeping the bird up as a blocker. And then it looks like he's just going to Blind Blackguard on draw step and try to find something. So he's going to Blind Blackguard again. Pip only has a Nomad's Township in hand. So, oh, but draws into... It looks like Pip brought in a sideboard Hunter's Hideout. That is very interesting to me. I think it's... I would have not brought this in just because of how expensive it is compared to your other forms of removal. So Pip is going to buff up Monument once, swing for 7. Dodger double blocks, but Pip is going to buff it up to 10. So that means Dodger's just dead because of the Flample. And yeah, Monument of Queens, MVP. Just the ability to like gain Pip all that life while still putting pressure on Dodger's life total was insane. Also, like, shout out to the Duresses and just, like, the interaction suite, because, like, Pip was on the cusp of death several times there, but being able to steal those Oridi Valleys before Dodger gassed back up was huge for her. Okay, getting into Game 3, and this time Dodger is on the play. Dodger's going to keep, which is interesting, doesn't have any action in hand, but has Unquenched Greed and Monkey Shines. So is probably, and 4 lands, so probably doesn't want to mull and is just going to, like, slow roll it into a threat by just playing some cantrips first. So Monkey Shine's coming down. Monkey Shines and Unquenched Greed also help fill the grave super nicely for Waridi Valley. Draws into a Plaxodal. That's a threat. Doesn't have a way to cheat it out turn 2 yet, though. Depends on what the other card that Dodger saw on top of his library was, though. If it was a multicolored cantrip, could just slam the Plaxodal next turn. And it looks like it was. So now just Unquenched Greed, Plaxolotl, and also gets to bin a bunch, and gets even more multicolored cards to bin. This is the dream, honestly. Okay, so Unquenched Greed number 2. I think you probably bin a land and Monkey Shines? No, okay, Monkey Shines wants it for the card selection at this point. And so now, with 4 multicolored cantrips in grave, Waridi Valley is online next turn. Pip is just going to descend the Plaxolotl. I think Pip really should seal the tomb on this Unquenched Greed, because otherwise, I guess it's not a high priority target, but Waridi Valley is definitely scary here, because Dodger literally doesn't have anything else. Dodger has Monkey Shines, but that's whatever. So yeah, it's going to into Waridi Valley. Draws a bunch more lands, hits a Plaxolotl for what it's worth, but can't cast it this turn. So Pip is very much in control here. So the question is, will Pip tap out for an Intrepid? Oh, and Pip also has the Natural Monument of Queens, which is very dangerous for her. For a Dodger, sorry. So it looks like Pip is going to press the advantage, is going to tap out for an Intrepid. Grabs a Swamp. Okay, so the reasoning for this is wants to turn off the Arctic Mine, but also wants 2 black for the Vibrant Raptor. Okay. And Parrot Pools is a really good top deck for Dodger. I think is going to hardcast Plaxolotl and then going to double Monkey Shines for essentially a 1-mana Better Divination. Okay, hits an Unjust Sentence off the first one. And another Plaxolotl. So next turn, hardcasts Plaxolotl, and then gets a triple Lava Spike Pip. I think Pip is probably going to just pit the Plaxolotl this turn. I really think that you just... Okay, so he's going to swing with Intrepid first. Interesting. Yeah, I really think that you just pit the Plaxolotl before Dodger can untap with it. No? Pip's just going to pass? That seems incredibly risky to me. So choices. So Dodger can Parrot Pool. Okay, so it looks like Dodger is going to Parrot Pools, then Unjust Sentence, copy it, Dome Pip for 6, play Monkey Shines, and then free cast Plaxolotl. So in response, Pip is just going to Pithwilt the Parrot Pools. Still is going to be a dicey situation for Pip. Can untap and Rapture for 3 though, which will kill the Plax and which will kill both Plaxes and the bird. And then at that point, Dodger's just all out of gas unless this Monkey Shines hits something. No, okay, he's gonna bin Myoga Firebird plus a Snow-Covered Forest, not bad. And then free cast the Plax. Dodger's getting so flooded this game, I will say. Okay, swings for 3. Not gonna free cast the Plax? Oh yeah, okay, there's the Plax free cast. On end, Pip is gonna seal the tomb on the Myoga Firebird. Interesting that Pip didn't do this on, on the Parrot Pools, but I guess Myoga is just so much more explosive. Parrot Pools requires you to have gas, but Myoga also, to an extent, requires you to have gas. But now that Pip knows that Dodger has nothing of the sort, I think will probably feel completely comfortable just untapping, play a land, Rapture for 3, yup, just disgusting, and then can swing for 4. And then next turn, untaps Mastery of the Veil for, 6, so that will dome Dodger for 12. Okay, yeah, so just going to Parrot Pools. And Pip knows Dodger's hand as a result, so doesn't have to worry about Invalidate, can just run out the Mastery of the Veil and kill Dodger. I'm pretty sure this is just game. Oh no, okay, he's going to pump up the Monument instead. I think that was a missed opportunity. Um, Pip could have just straight killed. Oh, second Parrot pools. Yeah, I bet Pip is kicking herself right now, thinking, "Damn, really should have run out that Parrot pools, that Seal on Parrot pools." I don't think it's gonna matter though. Dodger only has one blocker here, and I think does Pip have enough mana to flample over the bird? Okay, on end is just gonna exit. The bird dies, and that's it. Whew. And after that blistering game one, it was looking really dire for Pip. But game two just had the interaction that she needed when she needed it. Like, grab the Warides out, the Seal the Tombs were well placed. Like, I think that was just. Like, that was kind of a masterclass on control. That was also a masterclass on drawing the right cards when you needed them. Like, having Rapture in both of her opening hands definitely helped. But I think that was still a really good showing from both players. And even though Dodger's now out of the top eight, that was still a really respectable placing for his first GP, especially with a rogue, completely new brew. I think that the Paired Pools deck is really cool, and I am excited to see where it goes going forward. And also, congratulations to Pip for moving on to the quarterfinals. She has been in the finals of the last two GPs, but has gotten second place each time. Will she manage to get to the finals of this one? And if so, will she manage to take the whole thing? Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.